I never thought I'd be sitting in my childhood living room, facing an intervention about how I'm supposedly corrupting my sister's children. Yet here I am, watching my perfect sister, Sabrina, with mascara running down her face as she lists my countless failures as an aunt. My name is Ellie, and at 27, I'm apparently the black sheep destroying our family's reputation. The funny thing is, just yesterday, I was helping my niece Caitlin with her science project while Sabrina was out running errands. She bought them violent video games, Sabrina says, her voice cracking, and she tells them it's okay to talk back to adults. She's undermining everything we're teaching them. Mom wrings her hands in her lap, looking between us like she's watching a tennis match. Dad just sits there, stone-faced, probably wishing he were anywhere else. The afternoon sun streaming through the bay windows feels too bright, too exposing. That's not true, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. The game was rated E for everyone, Sabrina. It's literally about building cities. Don't twist this around. Sabrina stands up, pointing her finger at me. Last week, Roman told his teacher that some rules are meant to be questioned. Where do you think he got that from? I can't help but laugh, which only makes things worse. Heaven forbid a child learns critical thinking. See? Sabrina turns to our parents. This is exactly what I'm talking about. She thinks everything's a joke. Dad finally speaks up. Ellie, maybe you could be more mindful of Sabrina's parenting choices. Mindful? I stand up too, my hands shaking. What about being mindful of the fact that I'm the one who shows up to their school events when Sabrina is too busy, or that I'm the one they call when they're upset because they know I'll actually listen? That's enough. Mom's voice cuts through the tension. Both of you, please sit down. We do, but Sabrina's not done. She pulls out her phone, scrolling frantically. Look at this text Caitlin sent me last week. She said, and I quote, "Aunt Ellie says it's okay to disagree with people sometimes, even parents." Do you see what she's doing? I can't believe this, I mutter, fighting back tears. You're actually turning basic life lessons into something sinister? We think, Dad says carefully, that maybe you should take a step back from spending so much time with the kids, just until things settle down. The words hit me like a physical blow. I look at Mom, hoping for support, but she's staring at the floor. The family photos on the wall behind them seem to mock me, all those forced smiles, perfectly arranged poses, hiding who knows what else. Fine, I say, standing up again. You want me to step back? I will. But don't come crying to me the next time you need someone to pick them up from school or watch them on short notice. Ellie, please. Mom reaches for my hand, but I pull away. No, this is perfect. I grab my purse from the couch. Sabrina finally got what she wanted. Total control. I hope you're happy. As I head for the door, Sabrina calls out, "This is exactly why we're worried about your influence. You're so dramatic about everything." I turn back one last time, taking in the scene, my sister's tear-stained face, my father's disappointment, my mother's confusion. You know what, Sabrina? For someone so concerned about bad influences, maybe you should look in the mirror sometime. The door slams behind me with a satisfying bang. In my car, I finally let the tears fall. But they're not sad tears, they're angry ones. Because I've seen things. Notice things about Sabrina that nobody else seems to see. The way she sometimes shows up late to family dinners with glassy eyes. The way she gets extra touchy at parties. The way her kids look at her sometimes, with that mixture of love and worry that no child should have to feel. My phone buzzes. A text from Caitlin. "Are you okay, Aunt Ellie?" Mom seems really mad. I wipe my eyes, typing back, "I'm fine, sweetie. Just grown-up stuff. Love you." Another buzz. "Love you too." Roman says hi. That does it. I start the car, my hands steady now, my mind clear. If Sabrina wants to play this game, fine. But two can play at exposure. It's time someone pulled back the curtain on my sister's perfect life and showed everyone what's really going on behind it. Because sometimes, the worst influences aren't the ones who teach kids to question authority. That's not the problem. The real problem is the ones who pretend to be perfect while their lives crumble behind closed doors. 2 weeks after the intervention, I'm sitting at my best friend Danielle's kitchen counter, scrolling through old photos on my phone. There's one from last Christmas, Sabrina holding a wine glass, her smile a bit too wide, her eyes a bit too bright. I should have noticed it sooner. You're obsessing, Danielle says, sliding a coffee mug toward me. Maybe you should let it go. Let it go? I show her the photo. Look at her face. This was right before she knocked over the Christmas tree trying to dance with it. We all get drunk at Christmas sometimes. Danielle shrugs, but I can tell she's starting to see it too. My phone buzzes. A text from Mom. Family dinner tonight. Please come. Your father misses you. Great, I mutter. Another chance for Sabrina to play victim. Or, Danielle says, a chance to observe. You said you wanted proof. Watch her tonight. She's right. I text back, okay. What time? 6 hours later, I'm walking into my parents' house armed with a bottle of sparkling cider. The first thing I notice is Sabrina's laugh, too loud, coming from the kitchen. I find her there, leaning against the counter, wine glass already in hand. Oh, look who decided to grace us with her presence. Sabrina announces, her words slightly slurred. Mom turns from the stove, relief evident on her face. Ellie, honey, can you help set the table? As I grab plates from the cabinet, Caitlin runs in and hugs me tight. Aunt Ellie, I got an A on my science project. That's amazing, kiddo. I hug her back, catching Sabrina's scowl over her head. Mom helped too, Caitlin adds quickly, glancing at Sabrina. Did I? Sabrina frowns, then laughs. Oh, right. I signed the permission slip. During dinner, I watch Sabrina refill her glass 3 times. Dad talks about work, Mom asks about school, and everyone pretends not to notice when Sabrina knocks over the salt shaker reaching for the wine bottle. Oops, she giggles. I'm such a klutz today. Roman, picking at his food, catches my eye. I know that look. It's the same one I used to have when Dad would come home late smelling like beer before he quit drinking 15 years ago. After dinner, I offer to help clean up. As I'm loading the dishwasher, I hear a thud upstairs, followed by Sabrina's voice. I'm fine, just tripped. I'll check on her, I tell Mom, who's looking worried. Upstairs, I find Sabrina in her old bedroom, rummaging under the bed. Lost my phone, she mumbles. But what catches my eye isn't her phone, it's the empty wine bottle that's rolled partially out from under the bed skirt. When Sabrina stands up, phone in hand, triumphant, I wait until she wobbles back downstairs before investigating further. Kneeling down, I lift the bed skirt. My heart stops. There's not just one bottle. There's a whole collection, hidden in a neat row. Some are empty, some are full, all carefully arranged where no one would think to look. Aunt Ellie? Roman's voice makes me jump. He's standing in the doorway, looking smaller than his 8 years. Are you looking for Mom's special juice? I stand up quickly. Roman, honey, what do you mean? He shifts uncomfortably. Mom says it's her special juice that helps her deal with stress. She keeps it up here when we stay over at Grandma's. My hands are shaking as I pull out my phone and take a quick photo of the bottles. Roman, does your mom drink this special juice a lot? He nods slowly. Sometimes she falls asleep on the couch after. Dad just says she's tired from working hard. Footsteps on the stairs send Roman scurrying away. Sabrina appears, steadying herself against the door frame. What are you doing in here? Looking for my old yearbook. I lie smoothly. Mom mentioned wanting to see it. Sabrina narrows her eyes. Always snooping around, aren't you? That's your problem, Ellie. You can't mind your own business. As I brush past her, she grabs my arm, her grip tight, desperate. What did you see? I meet her gaze steadily. Nothing you're ready to admit to yet. Downstairs, I hug my parents goodbye, kiss the kids, and walk to my car with purpose. In the driver's seat, I glance at the photo I took, then send it to Danielle with a message. Found what I was looking for. Time to plan our next move. Because this isn't about me anymore. This is about 2 kids who deserve better than watching their mother disappear, 1 bottle of special juice at a time. The memory hits me like a freight train as I'm sorting through the photos on my phone. It was 3 months ago, before the intervention, when Sabrina called me at 2 a.m. Can you come get me? Her words were slurred, barely comprehensible. I can't drive. I found her sitting on the curb outside a bar, mascara streaked down her face. The kids were at a sleepover, and Elias was away on business. Don't tell anyone, she had begged as I helped her into my car. It's just Being perfect is so hard sometimes. Now, sitting in Danielle's living room, I show her the video I secretly took that night. Sabrina stumbling up her driveway, nearly falling into her rose bushes. Jesus, Danielle whispers. And she had the nerve to call you a bad influence? My phone rings. It's Caitlin. Aunt Ellie, can you pick me up from soccer practice? Mom was supposed to, but she's not answering her phone. 20 minutes later, I pull up to the soccer field. Caitlin's coach is waiting with her, looking concerned. This is the third time this month, she tells me quietly while Caitlin gets her gear. Is everything okay at home? Family stuff, I say vaguely. Thanks for staying with her. In the car, Caitlin is unusually quiet. Mom forgot again, didn't she? She might have been busy. Stop making excuses for her. Caitlin's outburst startles me. I'm not stupid. I know why she forgets things. I know why she sleeps all day sometimes. We pull into the driveway. Sabrina's car is there, but the house is dark. I use my emergency key to let us in. We find Sabrina passed out on the couch, an empty wine bottle on the coffee table. Caitlin immediately heads upstairs, her shoulders tight with anger. Mom. I shake Sabrina gently. Wake up. You forgot Caitlin. She stirs, blinking confused eyes. What time is it? Almost 6. You were supposed to pick her up from soccer. Oh God. She sits up too quickly, swaying. Is she mad? What do you think? I start collecting empty glasses from around the room. This has to stop, Sabrina. Don't. Her voice turns hard. Don't you dare judge me. You have no idea what it's like. What? What's like? Having everyone think you're perfect. Having mom and dad's constant approval. Having responsibilities. She stands up unsteady. Having a family depending on you. Having to be everything to everyone all the time. So, this is your solution? I hold up an empty wine bottle. Hiding bottles under your bed? Passing out while your kids need you? Get out. She grabs the bottle from my hand. Get out of my house. Fine. I head for the stairs. But first, I'm checking on Caitlin. She's my daughter. Then start acting like her mother. I find Caitlin in her room, headphones on, homework spread across her bed. When she sees me, she pulls the headphones off. I'm okay, she says before I can speak. I'm used to it. Those 4 words break my heart. You shouldn't have to be used to it, honey. She shrugs, but her lower lip trembles. Dad's coming home tomorrow. He'll fix it. He always does. But we both know he doesn't. He just covers it up, makes excuses, keeps the facade going. Downstairs, Sabrina is throwing up in the bathroom. I stand in the doorway, remembering all the times I've held her hair back, cleaned her up, kept her secrets. I'm telling Mom and Dad, I say quietly. This has gone too far. She looks up at me, mascara running again, just like that night outside the bar. Please don't. I'll do better. I promise. You've been promising that for months. I pull out my phone, showing her the photo of the bottles under the bed. Your kids deserve better than this. She snarls, lunging for my phone. You've been gathering evidence, planning to destroy me? I step back, keeping the phone out of reach. No, Sabrina, you're destroying yourself. I'm just done watching it happen. As I leave, I hear her crying, but I don't turn back. In my car, I send 2 texts, one to Mom. We need to talk about Sabrina tomorrow. It's important. The second to Elias. Your wife needs help. Your kids need you. Come home early if you can. This isn't revenge anymore. This is an intervention. A real one this time. Because sometimes loving someone means being willing to be the bad guy. It means being willing to break things apart so they can be put back together properly. And I'm ready to be the bad guy if that's what it takes to save my sister from herself. Mom agrees to meet me at a real dot, the coffee shop downtown, neutral territory. She's already there when I arrive, stirring her tea with shaking hands. What's so urgent? She asks as I sit down. Your texts had me worried all night. I pull out my phone, sliding it across the table. The gallery is open to the photos of Sabrina's hidden bottles. Mom's hand flies to her mouth. There's more, I say, swiping through the images. This is from Christmas. This is last month at Roman's baseball game. This is from yesterday. No. Mom shakes her head. She's just stressed. Everyone has wine sometimes. Mom. I reach for her hand. She passed out and forgot to pick up Caitlin yesterday. Her coach said it's the 3rd time this month. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because Sabrina spent years convincing everyone she's perfect, and you and Dad, you wanted to believe it. Mom's phone buzzes. It's Sabrina. She declines the call. What do? We have a real intervention, not like the fake one she staged about me, one with professionals. Your father won't like this getting out. Better out than dead. My voice rises, drawing looks from nearby tables. I lower it. Sorry, but Mom, this isn't about reputation anymore. This is about Caitlin and Roman. My phone rings. Elias. I step outside to take it. I got your message, he says. I'm at home now. Found more bottles. In the garage, in her closet, even in her car. How is she? Angry, defensive. Says you're trying to ruin her life. He pauses. The kids told me everything, Ellie. I've been so blind. We all were. Well, except the kids. I called a treatment center, he continues. They have an opening next week, but we need to convince her to go. Back inside, I relay this to Mom. She's crying silently, dabbing at her eyes with a napkin. Tomorrow, she says finally. We'll do it tomorrow. I'll tell your father tonight. That evening, Danielle comes over with pizza and wine, then laughs at the irony of bringing wine. You're doing the right thing, she says as I pace my living room, even if it feels wrong. I know. But my phone buzzes with a text from Sabrina. I hate you. You're trying to take everything from me, my kids, my husband, our parents. You've always been jealous. Then another. Please don't do this. I'll stop. I promise. Just give me one more chance. And another. If you go through with this, I'll tell them everything. About you, about that night in college, about the money you borrowed. Everything. She's spiraling, Danielle says, reading over my shoulder. This is exactly why you need to do this. I text Elias. How are the kids? At my parents' house. Sabrina's been drinking since I got home. Says she needs it to deal with your betrayal. My hands shake as I type a response to Sabrina. I love you. That's why I'm doing this. You can hate me all you want, but I won't watch you destroy yourself anymore. She replies with a single word. Traitor. Mom calls around midnight. Your father's on board. He found her old diaries. She's been struggling with this for years, hiding it from everyone. Tomorrow at 2, I say, the treatment center is sending someone. Have her meet us at your house. Ellie? Mom's voice breaks. What if she never forgives us? What if we never forgive ourselves if something happens to her or the kids? After hanging up, I sit in my dark apartment, looking at old photos of Sabrina and me as kids. Before the perfect marriage, the perfect kids, the perfect life became her prison. Before she started drowning her imperfections in wine. My phone lights up with one last text from her. Remember when you were little and had nightmares? You'd always come to my room. Said I made you feel safe. What happened to us? I type back through tears. I'm still here, Sab. Still trying to keep you safe, even if you can't see it right now. No response. Tomorrow will either save my sister or destroy our relationship forever. But as I get ready for bed, I realize something. Sometimes, love looks like betrayal. Sometimes, it looks like showing up with evidence and ultimatums. Sometimes, it looks like being willing to be hated if it means the person you love might live. Because tomorrow isn't about revenge anymore. It's not even about exposing the truth. It's about saving my sister from the perfect lie she's trapped herself in, one hidden bottle at a time. The intervention specialist Sarah arrives first. She's younger than I expected, with kind eyes and a calm presence that somehow makes this feel a little less overwhelming. Still, I can't shake the weight of everything. Remember, Sarah says, arranging chairs in my parents' living room, stay focused on facts and feelings. No accusations. Dad paces by the window. She's late. She'll come, Elias says, checking his phone. She thinks this is a family meeting to discuss Ellie's issues. The irony isn't lost on anyone. When Sabrina finally arrives, she's wearing oversized sunglasses and carrying her designer purse like a shield. She freezes in the doorway when she sees Sarah. "What is this?" Her voice is razor sharp. "Who is she?" "Please sit down, Sabrina," Mom says softly. "No." Sabrina backs up. No. This is not happening. "Mrs. Quinn," Sarah steps forward. "I'm here to help facilitate a conversation your family needs to have." "A conversation?" Sabrina laughs, high and brittle. "You mean an ambush? Orchestrated by my dear sister, no doubt." She rips off her sunglasses, revealing bloodshot eyes. "Well, start the show. Tell me how I'm ruining everyone's lives." "Honey?" Dad moves toward her. "We're worried about you." "Worried?" She spins toward me. "Or just looking for revenge. Couldn't stand that Mom and Dad like me better, could you?" "Ellie, this isn't about me," I say quietly, pulling out my phone. "It's about this." I play the video from Christmas, then the one from Roman's baseball game. Photos of hidden bottles. Text messages from Caitlin begging me to pick her up from various activities. "Turn it off," Sabrina whispers. "Your children are scared," Elias says. "They're covering for you, making excuses, taking care of you when it should be the other way around." "You too?" Sabrina's voice breaks. "You're all against me." "We're for you," Sarah interjects. "Everyone in this room loves you and wants to help." "Help?" Sabrina grabs her purse, dumping the contents onto the coffee table. A flask clatters out among the lipsticks and keys. "You want to help? Here's my secret shame. Happy now?" "Sabrina." Mom starts crying. "Why didn't you tell us you were struggling?" "Struggling?" Another harsh laugh. "I'm not struggling. I'm surviving. Do you know how hard it is being the perfect daughter, the perfect wife, the perfect mother?" "No one asked you to be perfect," I say. "Everyone asked. Every single day." She's shouting now. "Look at Sabrina, so put together. Look at Sabrina, such a great mom. Look at Sabrina, never a hair out of place. While you," she jabs a finger at me, "got to be the mess, the free spirit, the one with no expectations." "I have a place reserved at Riverside Treatment Center," Elias says quietly. "They can take you today." The room goes silent. Sabrina sways slightly, reaching for the wall. "Treatment?" she whispers. "Like some common drunk." "Like someone who needs help," Sarah corrects gently. "Like someone whose family loves her enough to risk her anger to save her life." "I don't. Sabrina slides down the wall to the floor. "I can't." I kneel beside her, remembering all the times she comforted me when we were kids. "Remember when I broke Mom's favorite vase? You helped me clean it up, told me everything would be okay." I squeeze her hand. "Let us help you clean this up, Sab." She looks at me, really looks at me for the first time in years. "I'm so tired, Ellie, so tired of pretending." "Then stop pretending." I take her hand. "Be real, be messy, be human." "The kids," she looks at Elias. "They want their mom back," he says. "The real one, not the perfect one." Sarah hands Sabrina a tissue. "There's a car waiting outside. We can go right now. No cameras, no drama, just help." Sabrina squeezes my hand so hard it hurts. Will you come with me? Just for the intake?" "Of course." She lets us help her up. Mom hugs her. Dad kisses her forehead. Elias promises to bring the kids to visit once she's settled. At the door, she turns back. "I'm sorry. For the intervention about you. For everything." "I know," I say. "Me too." In the car, she leans against my shoulder like she used to when we were small. "I'm scared, Ellie." "Good," I tell her. "That means you're finally being real." As we drive toward the treatment center, I realize something. This moment, my sister finally dropping her perfect mask, finally reaching for help. This is worth more than any revenge could ever be, because sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. Sometimes it's helping the person who hurt you find their way back to themselves. The first week after Sabrina enters treatment is chaos. I'm sitting in her kitchen, helping Caitlin with homework, while Roman plays video games nearby when Elias gets the first call. "She wants to leave," he says, pacing. Says we're all overreacting. Can she? I ask, covering Caitlin's math worksheet with my hand. Not if she wants to keep custody of the kids. His voice breaks. I had to play that card, Ellie. I had to. After he heads upstairs, Caitlin looks up at me. Is Mom mad at us? No, honey. She's mad at herself, and that's making her mad at everyone else. Dad said she's sick, Roman calls from the couch, but not like flu sick. That's right. I move to sit between them. Your mom has something called addiction. It makes people think they need something, even when it's hurting them. Like how I think I need chocolate even when it gives me a stomachache? Caitlin asks. Kind of, but much stronger and more serious. My phone buzzes. Mom calling. The neighbors are asking questions, she says without greeting. What do we tell people? The truth. She's getting help for a health issue. Anyone who gossips can deal with me later. That week, I visit Sabrina. The treatment center is nicer than I expected. More like a retreat than a hospital. She's wearing yoga pants and an oversized sweater, no makeup. She looks younger somehow. They took my phone, she says immediately. I can't even check on my kids. They're fine. Caitlin got an A on her history test. Roman joined soccer. She starts crying. I'm missing everything. You were missing everything before, Sab. You just didn't realize it because you were drunk. Harsh. She picks at her sleeve. True, though. I found out 3 other moms from the PTA have been here. Can you believe it? All of us pretending to be perfect. All of us drowning. How are the meetings? Horrible. Wonderful. I don't know. She looks out the window. Yesterday, I told them about Christmas. About how I wanted to be the perfect host so badly that I drank a whole bottle before dinner even started. I remember. No, you don't. Not all of it. She turns back to me. After everyone left, I drove to the liquor store, with the kids in the car. I freeze. I could have killed them, Ellie. The silence stretches between us. That's why I can't leave, she whispers. Even though I want to. Even though everything in me is screaming for a drink. Because when they told me that story in group therapy, I didn't even remember it. Her voice wavers. What else don't I remember? On my way out, her counselor stops me. She's doing well, but the real test will be going home. The perfect house, the perfect neighborhood, all the perfect triggers. What can we do? Be patient, be honest, and maybe, she hesitates, maybe let the perfect facade crack a little, show her it's okay to be human. That night, I have dinner with Mom and Dad. They've been cleaning out the house, finding bottles in places we never thought to look. 23 wine bottles in the guest room closet, Dad says, pushing his food around. How did we not see it? Because she didn't want us to, Mom answers. Because we didn't want to. I found her diary from high school, I tell them. She wrote about feeling like she was drowning in expectations, about how being the good daughter was killing her. Dad puts down his fork. We did this to her, didn't we? No, I say firmly. We all played a part. But Sabrina made her choices, and now she's making a better one. My phone lights up with a message from Elias. Kids want to know if they can visit Mom this weekend. Another text follows. They made cards in art therapy. Roman says, "Get better, Mom. We don't need you to be perfect." I show the text to my parents. Mom starts crying again, but this time, the tears are different. Hope tears. Maybe we should all go. Dad says suddenly. Show her we're not ashamed. Show her we're proud of her for getting help. Yeah, I smile, and maybe we can all stop pretending while we're at it. Because that's the real disease, isn't it? Not just the alcohol, but the perfectionism that drove her to it. The masks we all wear, the roles we all play, until we forget who we really are underneath. Maybe that's why this happened. Not just to save Sabrina, but to save all of us from the perfect lives we've been living. 30 days into treatment, we're all sitting in a family therapy session. Sabrina looks healthier, clearer, though her hands still shake sometimes when she talks about difficult things. I want to address the intervention. The therapist, Dr. Marcus, says, the one Sabrina went through. She shifts in her seat, looking uncomfortable but also kind of proud. Sabrina flinches. Do we have to? Yes, Dr. Marcus leans forward. Because it shows a pattern of projection that we need to discuss. I was trying to control everything, Sabrina admits. The kids, the family image, Ellie's influence. I thought if I could just make everything perfect on the outside, the inside wouldn't hurt so much. I finish. She nods, tears forming. The more I drank, the more I needed someone to blame. You were an easy target, Ellie. The free spirit. The one who didn't care what people thought. I cared, I say quietly. I just learned to hide it better. Dr. Marcus turns to our parents. And how did you enable this dynamic? Dad shifts uncomfortably. We rewarded Sabrina's perfectionism, made her feel like she had to maintain it. While I got to be the disappointment, I add, no. Mom reaches for my hand. Never a disappointment, just different. We should have celebrated that difference instead of trying to make you both fit the same mold. Caitlin and Roman, sitting between their parents, have been quiet until now. Mom, Caitlin's voice is small. Remember when you yelled at me for getting a B in math? Sabrina's face crumples. Oh, baby. You said winners get A's, then you drank your special juice and fell asleep during dinner. I remember, Roman adds. You forgot to make my lunch the next day. Aunt Ellie brought me McDonald's at school. Sabrina looks at me. You did? Someone had to. I shrug. They're my niece and nephew. I love them. Even when I tried to keep you away from them, especially then. Dr. Marcus nods approvingly. This is good. Real. Raw. This is where healing starts. Elias speaks up for the first time. I enabled you too, Sabrina, covered for you, made excuses. I was so afraid of our perfect life falling apart that I helped you maintain the lie until it almost destroyed everything. She whispers, but it didn't. Because your sister chose truth over revenge, Dr. Marcus reminds her. Chose love over resentment. Sabrina turns to me. I read your diary too, you know. Found it when I was snooping in your old room, looking for evidence of what a bad influence you were. My stomach drops. The one from college. Yeah, about how you felt like you could never measure up to me. How you thought Mom and Dad loved me more. She wipes her eyes. I was so busy being perfect that I never saw how much I was hurting you. We both hurt each other, I say. But you saved me. She reaches for my hand. When you could have exposed me publicly, ruined my reputation, you chose to get me help instead. Dr. Marcus smiles. And that's what real family does. They choose healing over hurting. After the session, while everyone else heads to the cafeteria for lunch, Sabrina pulls me aside. I have something for you. She hands me a notebook. My recovery journal. I want you to read it. Sabrina, you don't have to. I do. Because you deserve to know that none of this was your fault. That my drinking wasn't about you or the kids or even Mom and Dad. It was about me, not being able to face my own imperfections. I opened the journal to a random page. Day 15. Finally admitted I was jealous of Ellie's freedom. Her ability to be herself while I was drowning in expectations. She was learning to swim. Keep it, she says. Read it when you're ready, and know that my recovery isn't just about getting sober. It's about learning to be real, like you always were. Caitlin runs back, grabbing both our hands. Come on, they have ice cream for dessert. As we walk to the cafeteria, I realize something. The sister I wanted to expose to get revenge on never really existed. She was just as trapped as I was, just in a different kind of prison. And maybe that's what karma really is. Not revenge or punishment, but the moment when truth breaks through the perfect lies we tell ourselves, setting us all free in the process. Because sometimes, the greatest victory isn't in tearing someone down, but in helping them find the strength to rebuild themselves, one honest moment at a time. The autumn breeze rustles through the backyard as I help Sabrina set up for Roman's birthday party. No wine glasses in sight, just colorful cups filled with lemonade and sparkling water. You know what's weird? Sabrina says, adjusting a crooked balloon. This is the first party I've hosted sober in years. She exhales. Nervous. Terrified. Then she laughs. But it's genuine now. Not the high-pitched fake laugh from before. Real. Present. Actually present. The doorbell rings. It's Mom and Dad. carrying a massive cake. Behind them, kids from Roman's class start arriving with their parents. I notice some of the PTA moms giving Sabrina uncertain looks. Sabrina approaches one of them directly. "Sandra," she says, "I know you've heard rumors. Yes, I went to rehab. Yes, I'm sober now. And yes, this party has 0 alcohol." The woman's face softens. 3 years clean myself," she whispers. "We should talk sometime." As the party gets going, I watch Sabrina actually playing with the kids instead of just supervising from a distance. She's on the ground helping Roman unwrap presents, laughing at his jokes, her hair messy from the party games. "Look at her," Elias says, joining me by the snack table. "Actually, look at her." I do. The designer clothes are gone, replaced by jeans and a comfortable sweater. The perfect makeup replaced by just a touch of mascara, but it's her eyes that are different, clear, present, alive. "Mom! Aunt Ellie!" Caitlin calls from across the yard. "Come take a silly picture with us." We squeeze into the photo booth they've rented, making ridiculous faces. Sabrina smears frosting on my nose. I retaliate by messing up her hair even more. "Remember when we used to do this as kids?" she asks as we review the photos. "Before I got so obsessed with looking perfect in every shot?" "Yeah, back when we were just sisters instead of rivals." She grabs my hand. "We're sisters again. Better sisters, maybe." The party winds down as evening approaches. The kids are sugar-crashed on the couch, watching Roman play his new video games. Parents leave with goodie bags and leftover cake. That, Sabrina exhales heavily, was actually fun, not just pretend fun. "You did good, sis." She starts cleaning up, then stops suddenly. "Oh, I almost forgot." She runs inside and returns with an envelope. "This is for you." Inside is a handwritten letter. "Dear Ellie, remember when you said you were gathering evidence to expose me? Well, I've been gathering evidence too. Evidence of all the times you showed up for my kids when I couldn't. All the times you chose to help me instead of hurt me. All the times you were the sister I should have been. I'm not perfect anymore. I don't want to be, but I am trying to be better, and a big part of that is thanking the person who loved me enough to risk losing me to save me. Thank you for being my sister, even when I forgot how to be yours. Love, Sabrina." "You're crying," she says. "No, you're crying," I reply. But we're both crying and laughing at the same time. Mom and Dad join us in the backyard cleanup, and for a while, we all work in comfortable silence. "You know," Dad says finally, "I always thought having 2 completely different daughters was a challenge. Now, I think it was a gift." "How so?" Mom asks. "Because Ellie's strength helped us save Sabrina, and Sabrina's journey is helping us all be more real." Inside, we hear Caitlin squeal as Roman apparently beats some impossible game level. The sound of their genuine joy, their mother's clean laughter joining in, fills the cooling evening air. "Want to stay for dinner?" Sabrina asks. "I'm making my famous lasagna." "The one you used to make drunk, or a new recipe?" I tease. She throws a balloon at me. "A new one. Everything's new now. Better." As we head inside, I realize this is what winning really feels like. Not the satisfaction of revenge, but the joy of redemption. Not the thrill of exposing someone's flaws, but the peace of helping them embrace those flaws and heal. Because in the end, the perfect life Sabrina was trying to protect never existed. But this imperfect, messy, real life, this is better than perfect. This is true. This is family. This is love. And that's the best revenge of all. Choosing love when hate would have been easier. Choosing healing when hurting was tempting. Choosing to be sisters again, not despite our differences, but because of them. If there's one thing I've learned from all of this, it's that love, real love, is not about perfection. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about choosing truth over comfort, even when it risks breaking everything apart. In a world that glorifies flawless images and curated lives, we forget that healing only happens in honesty. We pretend, we hide, we perform. But in the end, the only way forward is through. If you have someone in your life who's struggling, don't wait for the right moment. Don't let fear or pride keep you silent. Speak up, even if it makes you the bad guy. Because sometimes, love looks like an intervention. Sometimes, it looks like tough conversations, boundaries, and even painful goodbyes. But if you're lucky, if they're ready, it can also look like redemption, like rebuilding, like finally stepping into something real. And that is always worth it.